I spent 30 days testing this more expensive and supposedly more effective magnesium supplement, L-threonate, so you don't have to. The hype is everywhere. Huberman endorses it, supplement brands charge a premium for it, mainly because it crosses the blood-brain barrier faster. It enhances your cognition, improves your sleep, but after 30 days of using it, my sleep scores tanked, my anxiety spiked, and I felt groggy every single morning. So here's what I discovered the marketing doesn't tell you about Magnesium L-threonate. Now, before I get into what went wrong, let me give you some context. You might have noticed a lot of people recommending magnesium supplements these days, and I agree, it's one of the supplements that I take daily, and for me, it's been really effective. Helps me relax, improves my sleep quality, and overall helps my body recover better. I've personally been taking magnesium glycinate for months now. It's known for being the best one for sleep and relaxation. It's worked pretty well for me, zero complaints. So when a viewer reached out to me asking me to try out this type called Magnesium L-threonate, I was curious. I'd honestly never heard of it before, but when I looked into it, the claims were on another level. This wasn't just another form of magnesium, this was the form, the only one that actually gets into your brain effectively. They positioned it in a completely different category. Regular magnesium, like the glycinate I'm used to, that works in your muscles and nervous system, but L-threonate supposedly crosses this thing called the blood-brain barrier, which means it's working or going directly into your brain tissue. The studies, they reference talk about cognitive enhancement, memory improvement, and superior sleep quality compared to standard forms. So this sounds like something that would be good to try out. Now, this jar cost me £40, about $50 if you're in America. I thought I'm already getting good results with the glycinate, but if this threonate is scientifically superior, I might have to upgrade and start buying this stuff regularly. But I'll cut to the chase. Big mistake. And let me walk you through exactly what happened. For the first 2 weeks, it seemed promising. I took the recommended 2,000 milligrams per day. This gave me about 144 milligrams of actual elemental magnesium, which is what most brands recommend. The first thing I noticed when I started taking this from the very first day, and this is something which has run consistently with me whenever I take magnesium supplements, is my dreams became incredibly vivid, almost movie-like. I thought this was a good sign because obviously it shows me that the supplement is doing its thing. Vivid dreams, I'm told, happen during REM sleep, and REM sleep is a good thing, so I embraced them. But the problem came when I started waking up feeling groggy, not just tired, but mentally foggy in a way I hadn't experienced before. It felt like I was being jolted awake by a loud noise, and normally that fades once you've showered and had breakfast, but this one lingered all day, kind of like a hangover. I consistently felt more sluggish getting out of bed, but I thought maybe my body was just adjusting and I kept going with it. Week 3 is when things went a bit downhill and quite fast. My sleep tracking app showed my deep sleep percentage is dropping down to 12 to 14%, and I was waking up multiple times during the night in cold sweats, feeling a bit anxious. Sometimes my heart would be racing, and this is probably the weirdest reaction I've had with any supplement. By the beginning of week 4, I was definitely getting worse sleep than before I started taking any magnesium at all. My anxiety levels during the day increased noticeably as well. I was more on edge. I will say this as well. During this test, I didn't take any stimulants, no coffee, no energy drinks at any point. So I looked into why it could have possibly given me the experience that it was giving me. I wanted to see and make sure that my experiences were down to the threonate. And here's what I found out that nobody seems to really talk about. L-threonate is bound to something called threonic acid, and it affects people differently. Some people can take this expecting better sleep like I did and end up with restlessness, anxiety, and disrupted sleep instead. Others report it being too stimulating for sleep. It keeps your brain more active when it should really be winding down. None of the marketing mentioned this possibility, so that's what I was going through. And there was one night that made this really clear to me. I had an early flight and I decided to just stay in the airport terminal overnight instead of booking a hotel. Normally when I pull an all-nighter, I'm fighting to stay awake by 3 a.m. But that night, I was on my laptop the whole time. I felt completely sharp and didn't touch any caffeine and got on my plane the next morning without even feeling like I needed sleep. At first, I thought, okay, maybe this cognitive boost thing is real. But then I realized that's not a sleep supplement, that's a stimulant. My brain was staying active and I felt fresh when I should have been craving for some rest. But regarding the cognitive benefits, did I personally feel that I could focus better, concentrate, and get more work done while taking these tablets? Not really. It just gave me a feeling like I could stay up longer and not feel tired. I was basically paying premium prices for a form of magnesium that didn't really help my sleep, and it didn't deliver, for me, the brain benefits either. It just felt more like a stimulant. I gave it the full 30 days and I didn't notice any difference in my memory, focus, or mental clarity, just my sleep, which was quite disappointing. The marketing and the people talking about it really make L-threonate sound revolutionary, but the reality for me was very different. Now, as expected, in month 2, switching back to my usual magnesium glycinate, the difference in my body's response was immediate and dramatic. Within 3 days, my sleep quality started improving, I felt better, and most importantly, I stopped waking up groggy. I hate groggy mornings. But let's break down the real costs over 60 days. The L-threonate cost me £40 for the month. The glycinate cost me £22 for the same period, and I already knew that glycinate worked for me. I think it just suits my lifestyle better. By the end of month 2, my sleep scores were back to where they were before I tried the L-threonate. I don't think I discovered anything new. I just learned the hard way that sometimes the premium upgrade isn't always worth it. So as you probably know, getting good sleep for me is really important. And in this video below, I talk about another supplement that is highly recommended to improve your sleep and stress levels. So with that being said, thank you for watching, and as usual, I'll see you on the next one.